Hello, greetings everybody on the internet. I am Exolia, and here I'm doing the introduction for our new video on my friend's Mr. Rago's video, because we made a bet and apparently I won because I'm a dumbass. So on today's file of Paleo Fight Review, we're doing Carnosaur 3, and well, I gotta say this. It was a movie, but I think my good friend Mr. Rago here has some introductions.
Hello everybody, this is Tim W. Rago, aka Megalania 2023, and the reason why that our fellow international nerd, Jurassic World Monsterverse 2, is not here is because he has, sorry to say this, but he's got some personal crap that he's dealing with right now, and he straight up told us to do this. He straight up told us on our group chat on Instagram to go ahead and do this review, so, because usually my boy Dude Meister here and I, we always wait for him, so all three of us can do these reviews together, but, nah, the other night, Jurassic World Monsterverse 2 straight up told us to do this, so this is actually the first time it's just been me and Dude Meister here on this, because usually, like, James is with me all of the time, but yeah, Carnosaur 3, yeah, this movie, you know, you guys have heard all of us talk about the first two Carnosaur movies. Like, the first one was just, you know, it's a straight up, like, horror. Like, the first movie was straight up, like, dino gore, dino slasher movie. Number 2, I was the one mainly enjoying that one. I was the one mainly liking that movie.
Yeah, we're not joking. When we were watching that one, I could literally feel my brain melting. It was just. I couldn't focus a damn thing on that thing.
Put it this way.
But at least with this one, I could.
Put it this way, folks. When we were watching Carnosaur 2, Jurassic World Monsterverse 2 and Dude Meister pulled their phones out halfway into the movie. They pulled both of their phones out halfway in, and then Dude Meister started working on some Warhammer stuff.
Like I say, it's a hobby. But, yeah, I'm not usually one to multitask when I'm watching something, but, man, that one was just... fuck, I can't think of anything to say about it. It was that bad for me. It just in one end, out the other. It was just brain melt. How many of you, for you guys who have seen the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, you know that scene where the bard's spell goes bleep 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 bleep. That was me during the entirety of that second movie.
Oh my god.
And here Mr. Rago is cracking up. I bet he's just 1 second from falling off his chair right now.
Oh my god. Because I've seen the new D&D movie. I watched it a couple months ago because I bought it on DVD at Walmart for like I think it was like $20, and that movie was fucking hilarious. If you guys ever want us to review that movie, definitely say it in the comments if you want us to do just a random review of that, because that movie is just downright good. Like, the new D&D movie is just like, especially...
It's fun.
It is. But, anyways, before we get side-clawed again, what do you call... So, again, I'll say it the last time, like, when it comes to Carnosaur 2, I was the one liking I was the only one out of the three of us enjoying that movie. But then you have Carnosaur 3 here, and for those who don't know, this movie originally was not even supposed to be a Carnosaur movie, apparently. Like, originally, the original title... I mean, when you see the title of this movie, the full title is Carnosaur 3 Primal Species. And originally the movie was just going to be called Primal Species, but then halfway into making it, I think it was Roger Corman or some other producer decided, oh, let's tweak a smidge of this movie and then slap the Carnosaur name on it just for marquee value. Like, they literally, like, the Carnosaur name was slapped, just tacked on pretty much, and they tweaked a couple of little lines of dialogue just to make it a Carnosaur sequel. Like, I say that, and then when you watch this movie, it actually mentions something that happened in the first movie. Like, it actually does mention 1, but doesn't mention 2, which is, it sort of mentioned the second movie. But, the reason, and the bet that Dude Meister was talking about was, when it comes to The Lost World, Jurassic Park, all three of us knew that that review was going to be long as shit. We all knew how long that video was going to be, so... And Dude Meister, he came the closest at saying it was going to be 2.5 hours, and also, a lot of the, Carnosaur 3 is one of those creature movies where it focuses a lot on military characters. And Dude Meister is a vet, so, like, it's kind of ironic how it fell into place here. Like, he wins the wager. We do a dinosaur movie about military characters, and yet he was in the service, so... It's kind of like irony and everything falling perfectly into place here. And and when we were watching this, you said that some of the stuff that happens in this movie, like, you've done that, or at least like a smidge, like a little bit of it.
Yeah, I did. Did similar things. Sure, that the military bit in this movie was not perfect. But honestly, I've seen worse, much worse. But well, I'll put it this way: at least I was enjoying the movie. And to not fill this entire thing with a big rant, I'm not gonna say much about it. Just to keep it on a down low. Sure, there are some things, but other than that, yeah, like I say, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. It was clearly a B movie, but at least it was enjoyable at some parts.
Yeah, like, the one thing about this movie is that it's said to be the most entertaining out of the 3 Carnosaur movies. Like, this is the one that people would say is the most entertaining out of the 3. And it clearly shows, because I just love, like, the way this... Well, onto the plot of this movie is, like, you know, you just have this... you just have this military convoy just driving down this road. They don't specify where the hell they are. They're just driving down some road somewhere, and somewhere in California. And all of a sudden, like, they get attacked by terrorists. Like, they just get attacked by terrorists, and
they think they are.
One of the vehicles on this convoy. Oh, and speaking of that convoy, one thing I gotta mention that I gotta bring up is the dude who literally pisses on the road. Like, he literally, like, they meant, like, one of them mentions that he had to take a piss, and I think his drill sergeant or whoever the lead was saying that they don't stop, and he just says, the dude basically says, "You know what? Fuck it," and he just in front of God and everybody behind them, just straight up, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. I need to piss. Fuck it. And I don't know if that was scripted or not. Like, the thing about B movies is that a lot of the time, a lot of the shit that happens look very improvised. And I can just imagine the director telling this guy that he's gonna piss off the back of this truck.
Yeah, and you can tell that it was. Many of the things in this movie was very improvised.
Pfft. But then it's like, when it comes to the terrorist attack, you know, what's with the? I'm sorry, but who runs into getting shot at? Like, why would they literally just jump out and run straight into gunfire? Like, I'm sorry. I mean, I've never been in the service, but even I know that's not really a good tactical move. Like, that's not even.
Yeah, it's not World War I trench warfare. We don't walk slowly up to the enemy.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's like one bit of editing that we saw was like really, really off. Like, the dude who is, I mean, of course, when it comes to these kinds of movies, especially in the 90s, there's one of the villains in this movie was like this dude in a leather trench coat, like this terrorist in a leather trench coat and shades, and he walks up to one of the soldiers, and the editing is really weird. Like, it's a shot of the soldiers shouting no, a shot of the terrorist with this trying to do the bad guy grin, and he's like, yeah, and then it just cuts to another random shot of the leather jacket dude shooting the soldier in the head. Like, the way each bit was shot was kind of like, you can tell it was three separate shots. Like, they could have easily done it with like one. They could have easily done that with like one shot, but they did it with these three little ones. It just, like, that part just didn't make any sense. Like, the editing was just off in that one scene. Like, there was just really, really weird, really off editing, and they hijacked this semi, which of course is the typical, like, oh, giant all-silver trailer, like frickin', like this Optimus Prime looking silver trailer here, and they drag it into they bring it to a warehouse, and apparently Daniel, you and I even laughed at it, where they pull up to the warehouse and there's this cop that goes up and asks the dude, like, hey, where's the, like, asking him where's the, like, his paperwork or the manifest, and the terrorist looks at him and goes, oh, it's right, oh, here it is, it's right here, bang. Acts like...
Headshot.
Oh, yeah, perfect headshot even, not even like a straight up, just looking random. Like, because the dude wasn't even aiming. He no-scoped the guy. He pretty much no-scoped him at, like, that's point-blank range, isn't it? Like, when you're that close, right? Isn't that, like, straight up just point-blank range?
Yeah, that is what it's called, yeah.
But, I'm sorry if that sounded stupid, folks, but when it comes to some of the terms, I'm trying to understand them so I don't sound like an idiot. But it's just like, that was just like a perfect headshot. Like, the dude didn't even aim. Like, he just straight up pulls out the gun and shoots the cop, and it's just like, dead center. Like, dead center headshot. Like, bro, like, who trained you? Like, who taught you how to, you're just looking like, who taught you how to shoot? Like, who taught you how to shoot? John Wayne? Fuck. Like, did he get his knowledge from, watching some John Wayne movies? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know it's a B movie. We're focusing too much on some B movie bullshit right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is, I think the thing about...
Magic bullets.
Wait, what?
Magic bullets.
Magic bullets. You know, the thing about these movies is that, they know they're a B movie and they just roll with it. Like, that actually what kind of makes a good B movie is that it knows what movie it is, and it just says, we ain't going beyond that. And this movie is a good example of, I know what movie I am. Just keep watching. just keep watching. And I love how the terrorists, when they open up one of the semis, freaking, he's not at all surprised that there's dinosaurs in the truck. Like, he literally gets pissed off that it's not uranium. Like, he gets pissed that it's not uranium, and he just tells the guy, like, you call this uranium? Like, you just opened a fucking lizard farm. And the dude is just like, you know, he looks at the raptors, who are sleeping, by the way, and are just like, you know, these people are just shouting and talking loud to each other, and it's just like, really? You got sleeping animals in there, and you people are just being loud and screaming at each other. And it's just like, even the other dude, even the guy's assistant was just like, he just looks at him like, what the hell is this? Like you people are not at all surprised that you have literal living dinosaurs in the trailer. Okay, alright, fine. But then they just wake up and, Friday the 13th happens. Then pretty much Friday the 13th happens. But what is actually kind of cool, though, is they have, like, these POV shots of the dinosaurs that kind of remind you of Predator a little bit, just, like, colored different. Like, they do this,
Yeah, the whole, basically infrared vision.
Yeah.
Infrared or thermal, basically the same thing, actually.
And you made that guess, like, saying probably raptors could have seen that way, like snakes do. Like,
yeah, I mean, for all we know, they could have. I mean, hey, they've been extinct for 65 million years, so for all we know, it could have happened. They could have been watching. I mean, it makes logical sense.
Well, for a predator that would see at night, like for dinosaurs that are said to have, like, night vision. But what's so crazy, though, is, like, the first movie, the first Carnosaur, it was Deinonychus, and then 2 and 3, it's Velociraptors here. And I'll get to the dinosaurs here in a bit, but it's so crazy, like, all these random other cops show up. Like, all these cops just, like, where the hell did you people come from? Like, where the hell did you people come from? Like, you literally have, like, 6 police officers just walking in this warehouse, and there's, like, a second semi, and the T-Rex was in it, somehow. Like, wait, the T-Rex was in here, too? Like...
Maybe it's a biological transformer.
Oh my... Oh, freaking, like... Oh, basically, like, Oh, so basically Grimlock. Okay. It's basically a biological Grimlock. Okay. But, it's just so funny how it's like, wait, you got the raptors and a T-Rex stuffed into a... Okay. But, then we get to the other characters in this movie, like the actual people you're supposed to give a shit about. And you have actor Scott Valentine, who, this is the only movie I've ever seen him in. I've never even heard of him until this point, until this movie. And he's like the one that, like, his face this entire movie is just like, is he trying to channel his inner Stallone? Like, is he trying to act like Sylvester Stallone this entire movie with, like, making his voice deep the entire time and putting on, like, this serious face? Like, it's like he's trying to channel his inner Rambo. Like, he's trying to do a B-movie ripoff of Rambo for some odd reason.
Yeah, but he was, you gotta agree, he was an interesting character. Actually, made the movie enjoyable.
Yeah, especially when he was trying to keep everybody in line. Like, he was trying to keep everybody in line, and I mean everybody. Especially the one annoying character in this movie, just like in Carnosaur 2, how actor Rick Dean, who played Monk in Carnosaur 2, he was the guy that you know, said that couldn't even finish a sentence. He was the dude that couldn't finish a sentence. He was the dude with the boombox, the guy with the long hair that had the boombox in Carnosaur 2. So it's like, yeah, it's that guy. And his character is like, it's so funny. His character in 2 was named Monk, and then in this movie his last name is Polchek, which I've honestly never even heard that name. But this character, oh my god, can this guy shut up for 5 seconds? Like, this dude could not stop talking throughout this entire movie. Like, even in a serious situation, he wouldn't shut up.
talking. I mean, for fuck's sake, shut up a bit.
Like, didn't you say you had somebody that was like that when you were in the service? Didn't
Oh,
you say
yeah.
you had somebody who was like that? Like,
Yeah.
or you knew someone that was like that. I mean, sorry.
Who hasn't had one of those guys?
Any
Just talk.
Yeah, any other veteran who watches this video, please comment down below if you have watched this movie and can relate to it, at least somewhat. At least, like, can relate to some of the crap that happens in this fucking thing. But it's so funny, like, his introduction, like, one thing that works in this movie's favor is the location shots. Like, you can tell this movie's budget was a little bit higher than 2. Like, you can so tell this movie clearly had a little bit of a bigger budget, because the location shots in here are not cheap, or they don't look cheap anyway.
Well, you can tell that it's a B movie on locations, but at least they tried to give at least they put some effort into it.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to, like, Scott Valentine, his character, we just watched this like yesterday, and now I can't remember the dude's name, but you have him, Rick Dean, and then you got like everybody else, and their introduction is very interesting. Like, they do this training session where they have to go after, they're trying to rescue hostages, but come to find out it's another company, it's another group that was playing the terrorists and hostages. And then you got Scott Valentine's team, who are supposed to be like stopping the terrorists and helping the hostages. And then you said that Polchek was like, the way he was, like, you pointed out that when he was moving around like this, like, whatever this place was, not like this old factory or wherever they filmed, this open outdoor factory, or wherever this was, they don't really specify, but he said he was too calm during the training session. You said he was a little too, like,
a bit too relaxed, a bit. You didn't take it too serious. You didn't take the whole thing seriously.
Yeah, and yeah, because when you see him, he kind of does, like, he just walks around. Like, he just kind of, like, you see him kind of, like, he just walks around here and there, and then when he encounters anybody, he kind of does shit. But then, like, at the end, and this is where they introduce his character not shutting up at this point, because he literally, I just love that Scott Valentine calls him a donkey. Like, he's like, are you some kind of, like, when he's telling him that the training session went a little bit too long than the last time they tried this. He looks at Polchek, and he don't even look at him at first. He looks up at the sky and he goes, "Are you some kind of dumbass donkey?" Honest to God, I would have preferred if he said, "Are you a jackass?" Like, I honestly would have preferred if he called him a jackass instead of donkey. Like, I don't know. It's just that line just kind of felt weird. Like, wouldn't you think doesn't jackass sound better? Like, if he asked him, "Are you some kind of jackass?"
Yeah, I want to say, I think it was just a behind-the-scenes thing that they tried to lower the rating to get it more up and to get more people to watch the damn thing. But well, you know how that went.
Yeah. Well, this movie was actually released direct-to-video. Like, the first movie actually came out in theaters, and then 2 and 3 were straight-to-video, going to video stores in the 90s kind of movies. So you know what kind of schlock you're dealing with here. But then Polchek just starts, I don't know why, like, he starts going on about how good a donkey's hearing is. Because, I mean, yeah, we all know a donkey has these big-ass ears, but it's just like, really, dude?
Yeah, we didn't watch, we didn't come here to watch Animal Planet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, National Geographic, they say in the movie. Not even Animal Planet, they said Nat Geo. So, yeah, that's... You know, I'm actually surprised that nobody made an Animal Planet joke to him at any point in this movie. Like, I'm so shocked that it's funny you mentioned Animal Planet. Like, I'm shocked nobody even made that joke to him. Like, no one made an Animal Planet reference. But it's like,
Yeah.
but they get called in to deal with, they get called at this warehouse because their general, and Daniel pointed out that the dude was you said, was he wearing like the, like full general's, like, the clothing? Like, did they get the clothing right? Like, did they get the that uniform right, or partially?
Well, I'm no expert in that sort of uniform, since it wasn't my army, the one I served. But well, it looked okay to me. But yeah, I think it was just basically just a standard general costume. But could have been better, but could have been worse.
So it's like in between, like some of the wardrobe is in between here. But it just so like he gets like, and I love the general, like where they said headquarters was just like this, like whatever base they were at or was supposed to be a base. It was just this random office in the middle of a factory. Like, it's just the way it looked. It just said headquarters on the side of the building. Like, it didn't have a logo or any like United or any like Army logo. It just said headquarters written in like the most typical military font you can possibly think of. And they get called in to go to the warehouse, and then out comes the rest of the movie, where you literally have like the typical army fighting monsters kind of movie, but except in this case it's dinosaurs. And little side note about this movie, if you guys ever look up the Japanese poster for it, and this is for you 90s video game fans out there, anybody who remembers the game Dino Crisis from the 90s, which is basically Resident Evil but with dinosaurs, the Japanese poster for this movie literally says Dinosaur Crisis 3 on it. You've played that game, right? You've played Dino Crisis, or at least the first one.
No, I haven't. I haven't gotten around to it.
But you at least know of it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, it's just so crazy how this movie's called Dinosaur Crisis. I mean, I guess that kind of would have been an interesting title for it if they actually, instead of Carnosaur, they called the movie Dinosaur Crisis.
That would actually be kind of fun to see.
Oh, if they made a B movie that was called either Dino Crisis or Dinosaur Crisis.
Yeah, or just make a movie based on those.
Oh, at least based on the first game, because I heard 2 and 3 are ass, because I know like 2 and 3 apparently suck. But anyways, it's so crazy how like, and I even made this joke, like, are these dinosaurs basically mini kaiju? Because, you know, they literally go on to explain how absolutely tough these things are, and it's literally 2 velociraptors. And of course, since it's Carnosaur, they gotta have the T-Rex. They gotta have like raptors and a Rex, which is like literally like, if you're gonna do a Carnosaur movie, it's like in the contract of the movie, like, if you're gonna do this name, you gotta have raptors and a Rex. Like, that's like the typical, like, it's like it's in the movie's contractual agreement with Roger Corman or some shit. But it's just like the raptors. They say like these 3 dinos are the last ones, and it's just like, oh, so somehow, and this is what I mean, like they mentioned 1 because 1 mentioned that the dinosaurs got eradicated, but apparently 2 doesn't get a mention because they're saying like, oh, yeah, these 3 are the last ones. Oh, so wait a minute, so you mean to tell me that these things survived a nuclear repository blowing up? Like, seriously, like, are these things like, that's where I made the jokes, like, are these things like mini kaiju? Because in number 2, the nuclear repository literally exploded from a containment overload, and these 3 are alive? Like, are these things mini Godzillas? Like, what the hell, man? Like, these things can survive a miniature nuke. Okay.
Well, this is a B movie. You shouldn't really overthink it.
That's true, but sometimes it's funny to question shit. When it comes to this movie, it's funny to question it. But
if we focus on questioning everything, we will be here forever. So
oh my god,
gotta have a little suspension of disbelief.
Oh, that's true. And that's actually what makes a creature movie fun, is that when you start watching it, you just have to just go with it. It's like a Showa Godzilla movie. You just have to deal with all the bullshit that the movie throws at you. I mean, Godzilla versus Megalon, anybody? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we will get to those movies at some point here. Anyways,
Hopefully.
huh?
Hopefully.
Yeah. But, what do you call it? It's just so, I just love, like, there's a scene where the lead scientist, I can't remember her name, but she was nice looking. Like, she was the nicest looking chick, the blonde scientist girl, who, for some reason, was pissing. I just love how much, like, even the general was pissing Scott Valentine off, because they were saying, like, oh yeah, we gotta take these creatures alive. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, these things have killed people, and you want us to bring in one of these things alive? Really? Really? Okay.
The standard government stooge just wants a big new weapon to fight the unknown enemy, but of course that costs their lives, and they don't care about that. It's a very standard thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, things go the way they do in these situations.
Yep, people die, shit happens, and I just love how one of the ways they try to capture one of the raptors is with a freaking net. Like, they literally use, and it's not just a regular net. This thing is a metal net with with this big ass piece of meat hanging off the ceiling. Where they got the piece of meat is never explained, ever. They never explain this. It's just, they just use bait. But, I just love how, like, even before, I think it's before that, there's, like, a scene where it's, like, there's this random Marine group that shows up. Like, out of nowhere, you just have these, like, these 4 or 5 Marines that just, like, Marine Special Forces that just, like, oh, we're here to assist, like, who the hell sent you people in? Like, who the hell are these people? So that was just kind of, that was just
surprise.
Random. Yeah, surprise. They just show up like, surprise, motherfucker. But, it was actually, but it's so funny, like, there's that random bit that I can't believe what, I think this whole scene was made to just pan this movie's runtime, because you just have, like, there's a scene where Polchek starts talking shit to this Marine chick. And that scene, nowadays, that movie would get canceled in a heartbeat. Like, that whole speech he was doing, like, nowadays, this movie would, you can't make that scene nowadays, is what I'm saying. Like, you can't have a scene like that in a movie anymore. And then you just have this arm wrestling match. Like, you have dinosaurs running around that warehouse right now that are probably looking for you to eat you, and you guys decide to have a freaking arm wrestling match? Really? Why? I mean, I know this is a B movie, but come on. Oh my god, I'm probably overthinking it again, son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think you are.
But there's, I don't know why, there's just some scenes in creature movies that just like, why is this even in here? Like, why? This has no purpose for the movie at all. It's just here. Like, you want to talk about not scenes being improvised, that whole thing had to have been improvised. Like, that whole scene had to have been completely improvised, and they just let the cameras still roll.
Yeah, just to fill the movie's runtime.
Yeah, exactly. And, then I love how Scott Valentine straightens everybody out in this movie. Like, he not only bitches out his team, but the Marine group as well. Like, and he literally straightens all of them up. So just like, he pretty much carries the movie in a way. Like, he's the one dude carrying this entire movie. But, then we get to the metal net scene, and I'm sorry, but I understand that the dinosaurs in this movie, and this is my con with this fucking movie. This is my main con. Like, you have a movie about dinosaurs, show the damn dinosaurs. Like, seriously, they barely show them at all in this movie. Like, this movie has a runtime of 1 hour and 20 minutes, and the raptors and the Rex only get, like, I don't know, maybe 3.5 minutes in total? Like, good lord.
Well, they sometimes do this in creature movies. They barely show the creature at all. I mean, Godzilla 2014, anyone?
Oh my god. Yeah, well, hey, at least Godzilla in 2014 got more screen time than these raptors do in this, than the dinosaurs do in this movie.
Yeah, when they are on screen, you can barely see them because it's shot so weird. I mean, it's dark, there's shaky cam, and sometimes there's even bad slow motion.
Oh yeah, there's like the weird slow-mo shots, especially with the T-Rex, where they're shot like... I can't even explain that kind of slow-mo. It's so... I don't even know that kind of slow-mo shot, but it's only for the T-Rex that they do that with. That's just weird. Like, whenever the Rex kills somebody, they always do that really weird slow-mo every damn time. Like, really? Like, just...
Yeah, like they just lowered the frame rate. So just, lowered frame rate, and, well, it was very lag, and I don't know cinematography that well, so I can't really say, but you can tell that it was not a good version of slow motion.
Yeah, exactly. And my other thing is when the raptors move, they roll. The legs don't move. They literally are dragged across the floor. Like, oh my god. And it's... What?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just sliding around like they're on rails or something.
Or wheelies, like they probably got like... anybody remember those shoes back in the early 2000s that had wheels in them?
Those things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, did the dinosaurs have, like, did the raptors have that in their feet? Because seriously, every time these raptors move, they're literally being dragged. Like, they don't freaking, they slide, really. And I just sit there and think, like, you mean to tell me that these suits, like, that the people in these suits, you mean to tell me you couldn't move the legs? Like, you mean to tell me that these people could not walk while wearing these things? Like, you mean to tell me they couldn't do this? It's funny that happens, and yet during the metal net scene, you see the raptor walking. Like, I know it's quick shots, but you actually see it walking. So it's like, wait a minute. The suit actor was walking fine. How come the other shots, these things are being dragged? Like, oh dear lord. Like, and also, the raptors actually, what'd you ever think of the design of the raptors, since, like, they're the same ones from 2? Like, what'd you ever think of, like, I don't think, that's one thing I don't think I touched on in
I can barely see them so much, so I don't really have a thing to say about it, because I could barely see them.
But, and then there's the Rex, like, the Rex, it's the same Rex as 1 and 2, it's the same damn puppet that they use. Well, they use a big puppet, but then they have, like, a smaller, like, what looks like a hand puppet, and the face is a different face. Like, the face of the smaller puppet looks different than the big, looks a lot different than the larger one. So that was...
Yeah, it just looks... it's no Rex from Jurassic Park. It looks more like that stop-motion T-Rex from the old black and white movies.
Well, it depends on which black and white movie you're talking about. Like, talking about King Kong 1933, or, like...
Earlier.
Oh, you're talking about The Lost World from 1925?
Yeah. Just those stop-motion bad versions, just... Well, I can't really call it those versions bad.
Oh, you're talking about Unknown Island? Are you talking about that?
Yeah.
Are you talking about that? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. I'm sorry, but when it comes to that movie, how James and Daniel were reacting to Carnosaur 2 was my reaction to Unknown Island. That movie is In the words of an angry video game nerd, this is a reference to you. Unknown Island is ass! I know that was a bad impression because my voice is deep, but still. But it's just so weird, like, how they're saying, like, oh, the T-Rex is asexual, like, would you put monitor lizard DNA in her or some shit? Okay. But I love how there's like a funny like briefing scene when the scientist was explaining what the creatures were, and you have the other two mercs, the other two characters that are just like sitting in there bullshitting, like not even paying attention. Like they're just not even paying attention, like passing notes to each other, and one of them literally writes, "I bet she's got a great ass." Like, I'm sorry. Sorry, folks. Damn. Anyways, but and also there's like the one bit where it's like these things. This raptor had to have had like these raptors must have some like T-Rex level jaw power, because I know that metal net that they were using was the metal wiring was not really that thick, but the fact that this thing chewed through a net made of metal. Like, you got like T-Rex jaws for a little dude? Like, the fuck? Again, mini kaiju, anybody? I swear to God, the strength of the dinosaurs in this movie is like mini Godzilla level here. Like, seriously, like surviving a nuclear explosion and being able to chew through a metal net. Like, okay,
bullshit level extreme.
Exactly, and and then also there's the funny bit where they're waiting for the one raptor to get in the net, and then the second one yanks Polchek and starts dragging his ass. Starts dragging him across the floor, and the way he screams, I don't know why, his voice just sounds, help! Like, his voice just sounds so, like, rednecky, I guess. Like, he just has this, like, bro. I don't know. It's just his voice. I wish I can play it on this video, but I don't want to get copyright. Neither of us want to get a copyright strike for this, but we so wish we can play the clip, play that in, just the sound effect. Just play the clip in this video of him getting dragged. It's just, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard, but it's just the way Rick Dean sounds when he shouts. It's just sounds funny to me. But Daniel's just shaking his head like this motherfucker. He's like this bitch. Oh my god. Dear Lord. Oh my god, if only James was here right now. James would probably be looking at me with like the look of sudden disappointment on his face, like, why does this guy have to point out the most insignificant things when we do these reviews? Like, seriously. But oh, and what'd you ever think of like the fact that the raptors can regenerate like regular like lizards do? Because there's like the bit where one of them like
some parts, yeah, I can understand, but all of it, I mean, come on, I mean, what are they, Deadpool?
Raptor pool? No, Dino pool. Dino pool? Yeah, because it's like, you got, one grows his tail back. Like, I love how there's, like, a bit where they're in a tent. They're in this tent outside the warehouse, and they have the supposedly dead raptor laying on the hospital bed, but, yeah, they're saying, like, oh, yeah, the cells are regenerating, like, yeah, exactly, like Daniel said, what is this thing, Deadpool? Like, what is this... Like, what is this thing, Deadpool? Just, like, oh, you can kill me, but I'm just gonna keep coming back. I'm just gonna come right back. But,
oh, keep killing it? No. But no, they just lie there on the table, and just standing around talking about it, while they say the thing literally grows itself back. Yeah, smartest people around.
Well, that's the thing when it comes to B movies. It's like that one commercial. When you're in a horror movie, you make dumb decisions. It's what you do.
For some reason, that's a thing. Yeah. It never stops being stupid.
Yeah.
But like I said, sometimes we do focus on weird shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Next scene.
Huh?
Next scene, to get this thing moving.
No, it's just like, no, what do you call... So, like, of course the raptor being regenerated, of course, kills another soldier, then literally just walks out, like, you just see its tail dragging on the ground. And then the T-Rex randomly shows up and just eats a dude's head off coming out of the tent like, holy shit, you're still in this movie. Like, the movie forgets the fact that, like, for a little bit, it forgets the fact that T-Rex is in this. Because you see it at the start, and then it just randomly shows up again, and you're like, oh, you're still here. Okay. Where the hell have you been most of this movie? And then it's just like, okay, that's pretty much how it shows up. It's just like, oh, surprise, mother... Shit! I can just imagine, like, did that not feel like a prank to you? That when they were filming, like, originally the T-Rex was not supposed to be in that scene, but then the behind the scenes are just like, hey, let's do a surprise scene out of this, and just have the T-Rex just randomly show up and just pretty much scare everybody.
Yeah, like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
most of this whole movie.
It kind of reminds me. For some reason, it kind of reminds me of the alien chestburster scene from the very first Alien movie. How it's like nobody knew what was happening that whole time until the scene happened. Like nobody knew that entire time, and then that's what the T-Rex reminds me of. Then they go on like this random cargo ship that's like docked next to this warehouse. So isn't it kind of ironic? You have like a T-Rex at a waterfront. Were they trying to rip off the ending to The Lost World Jurassic Park? Anybody? I think so.
Yeah, it came a little... Yeah.
Exactly.
This happened.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been even funnier if, I think this movie actually... No, I think this movie actually came out after, like, before The Lost World, because I think, The Lost World came out in 97. Well, I think this movie came out before that. So, damn.
You would know more about this than I do.
Yeah, well, there's some points where I forget, like, at times where some movies come out, but I know this is definitely, like, did this movie have, like, you can have a definite, like, oh, yeah, you can tell this is a 90s movie? Like, it just has that feeling where it's like, oh, yeah, you can tell this is definitely from the 90s.
Yeah, it's a 90s B movie, but enjoyable 90s B movie.
Which is one of those rare cases when it comes to creature movies that have a lot of like blood and gore in them. Like it's hard. Apparently, it's hard to find one that's enjoyable like this one. But you know, when it gets to the cargo ship bit, I just love how everyone else dies. Like the Raptors and the Rex, just like, okay, we're just gonna kill off all the rest of these characters in a span of like just to. That's pretty much how that's pretty much how it was. Like everyone was just like, didn't that not kind of feel rushed? Like, didn't it kind of feel a little rushed? How just kill everybody else off and just have like 2 survivors?
Yeah, it started pretty good, and then they said, it's like the producer of the movie just said, you know what? We only want 2 survivors here, so all right, then let's kill everybody off. But how? Dinos.
Just have the dinosaurs just start killing, just go around killing everybody. But but it's just so funny how like when it comes to, and I'm sorry, I know the character Polchek, I know he was annoying, but I was actually kind of hoping he would live, because he was kind of like the comic relief of the movie. So I mean, I know he was annoying, but at the same time though, I was hoping he would survive because I don't know why, he's like the second most standout character in this movie. Like, he's the other... I don't know why. I know he wouldn't shut up most of this movie, but it's just like, he's like the most standout, like one of the most standout characters in this.
Yeah, and, well, he didn't last long.
Yeah, the Rex literally just rips his arm off and then just starts eating him. Like,
death by T-Rex. Not even that. He just took the arm and he just lied there and just...
Pretty much. But then all of a sudden it's just like you got then you just got like the eggs, which get shot up to hell. Like they find a bunch of eggs, and I love how the movie says like, the Rex in this movie could lay like up to lay 12 eggs, and all of a sudden you just see like a literal horde of eggs. Like this Rex was like spitting egg, was like laying eggs like laying eggs like a mofo, and then they just like shoot them all up. So it's like, okay, okay, that was done. Okay, that's okay. They're all done for. Then it just like when you have the final like T-Rex attack scene. I just kind of find it interesting how they didn't kill the Rex in this movie with construction equipment like they did in the first two. Like they kill it by throwing C4 into its mouth, and you literally watch this thing's head explode. Like you literally watch decapitation.
I was going more for the old Jaws thing. Smile, you son of a bitch.
That's kind of what it looked like. Yeah, you're right. It looked more like Jaws than Brutal Legend. But oh, that would have been hilarious if Scott Valentine actually said that line word for word right before he throws the C4 in the Rex's mouth. Like that would have been funny. Like if he would have ripped that. They would have like ripped off Jaws. Like just set the timer on the C4. And he, right before he throws it, just like, smile, you son of a bitch, and then throws the C4 in its mouth. I don't know why, that would have made it, like, that just would have made it funnier. And then all of a sudden, like, they rig the ship with C4, and Michael Bay, pretty much, at the end of the movie. Like, and that ship, I think, was a miniature. And you said the miniature was bad, like the little ship, the ship that they had, that they blew up in here. It just looked really weird. The way, like, the way it was shot blowing up.
Yeah, like something just cobbled together with some cardboard or something. I mean, they could have taken a much more time on that miniature, but no.
Saving money, I guess. I don't know. But they actually do have a map on how far away that they get the ship out, and it's just like, you know, you have the scientist chick and Scott Valentine are like the last two survivors of this movie. It's like, you're out in the middle of the friggin' ocean. Like, okay. How the hell are you two gonna survive that? But okay.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Swim all the way back to the land? If they even know the direction of land, because I don't know if you've ever been outside in the sea, but without a compass or a way to navigate, it's pretty hard to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Like all you see is nothing but water. Yeah, and you'll probably encounter deep blue sea while you're at it, while you're out there.
No, the most dangerous thing when you're out in the sea just swimming is not the creatures. It's the sea itself. Oh, you will run out of energy before you reach that. Either way, those two are dead.
Or or you know what? You never know. Roger Corman can surprisingly, like, all of a sudden make Carnosaur 4, and just like, oh, they somehow, and just make some shit up on how they got out of that.
Yeah, like a surprise rescue boat or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, or a helicopter. Like they could have like maritime. Oh no, what's that? That's Japan, not Is it? Well, Coast Guard. Had it confused for a minute. Like they could like some Coast Guard chopper, or something of the Coast Guard saw the boat blow up, and sent somebody out to rescue him or some shit.
Yeah, but we never see that in the movie, because movie's over.
Yeah, the movie literally just ends. Like, the movie literally just ends, and then there's Carnosaur 3. Like, honestly, like we were saying earlier, like, this movie's the more, like, entertaining out of the three Carnosaur movies. Like, it's honestly, like, I know I enjoyed 2, but I do kind of like this one better, like, to be perfectly honest, because it had more stuff going on, and it didn't feel like it was dragging. Like, none of this felt like it was none of it felt like it was dragging. Like, since it only has a runtime of an hour and 20 minutes, like, it just quickly sets everything up. Like, just quickly set everything up, deal with the dinosaurs. If only they would have showed the damn things a little more. Like, that's just my main con with this movie. Like, if you have a movie dealing with dinosaurs, like, seriously, they showed the dinosaurs more in Carnosaur 2 than this. Like, the dinosaurs in 2 got more screen time. Got, like, way more screen time. Like, the dinosaurs in 2 got, like, I think 5 minutes? Or almost 5.5 or 6 minutes of screen time than this movie? But overall, though, this one is enjoyable. Like the acting is actually, and the acting actually was better in this one than in the second one. Like the acting was.
At least you could watch this thing. I mean, from my end, in the sequel 2, I could literally it literally melted my brain. But this one, yeah, I could at least focus on it. For understanding what's going on. It's not like the other one was just, you know what I mean.
Again, folks, I was the only one out of the three of us enjoying 2. But anyways, what would you said? What was your score for this? That you said when we were watching this yesterday. Like what was?
Yeah, I'll say around a 5 maybe.
I give this movie a definite like. Yeah, I give this like a 5.5 out of 10. Like the movie's enjoyable. Just needed more dinosaur scenes, and less. They see me rolling, or no, they see me sliding, they shooting. Like that's literally what the raptor scenes were like for half of this thing. I had to do a parody. I'm sorry, it just made it obvious, but
yeah, of course you
did. Daniel just has that grin on his face, like yeah, I know the bullshit you're pulling. But anyways, so James, wish you were here, buddy. And all.
Yeah.
Wish you were here, man.
See you next time.
But what do you call? We hope you all enjoyed that. Please be sure to like, share, and consider subscribing to my channel here, and then also go follow Dudemeister on his Instagram at Dudemeister.
Yeah, the link will be in the description down below.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, we know Jurassic World Monsterverse 2 wasn't here, but go follow him as well. Like, the link to his Instagram will be in the description below, simply because he's part of Paleo Files Reviews. So, it's out of, out of respect. We're putting it out of respect, basically. So yeah, go follow the international nerds, and then also go follow Dudemeister and I at our DeviantArts. His is what?
Yeah, like I said, link in the description.
Yeah, follow his DeviantArt, and then my DeviantArt, Dimetrosaur 2022, is up on the bottom right corner of the banner. So yeah, with all of that, this is Tim W. Rago, aka Megalania 2023, and
Dudemeister, aka Exolia.
Alright, see you all in the next review, everybody.
Peace out, nerds!